Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome back into the card closet for another episode. This video is going to be a contest response for the Ticket Leprechaun. He's asking us to show off some cards that have a story behind them. So story number one, as you can see, I've got my Jim Perry 1960s cards laid out, and there's a reason I did a PC of Jim Perry. Take you back to the summer of 1986. I was a caddy at the exclusive golf club here in town, country club actually, and Jim Perry was a member. And there were 4 days a week where the caddies were allowed to golf, and the other days were reserved for members only. And so me and my fellow caddies would take advantage of that and golf pretty much every day we could. Well, one evening, my friend Doug and I, fellow caddy, we were out golfing, and Jim Perry, who was a member of the club, happened to come up behind us midway through the back nine. He was playing alone, and as we're supposed to do, we stood off to the side and we let him play through. And we were, halfway down the fairway at this point. So he teed off, hit the ball down by where we were, and as he came down from the tee, down the fairway to us, he said, "You guys mind if I play with you guys?" And I'm thinking, man, that's Jim Perry, because, as a sports fan, I knew who he was. He was a big player, or maybe even the owner of a telecommunications company in Sioux Falls at that time. His son, Chris, was on the PGA Tour at that time and was seen around the club from time to time. And so I thought, wow, this is fantastic. Yeah, sure, you can golf with us. First time and only time that a member ever asked to golf with us. So I think that tells you a little bit about Jim Perry. And he never treated us like caddies for the rest of the back nine. He just treated us like fellow golfers, did small talk. He never told us who he was. We both knew who he was. I remember he was very tall, and he was a good golfer, very athletic. So if you think about it, in 1986, he was probably about 10 years removed from his playing days. So he was still, probably about 50 years old at that time, maybe even a little younger. But just treated us real great, just like we were fellow club members, golfed with us the rest of the way in, talked to us like we were just his level. And so always remember golfing with Jim Perry, Cy Young Award winner. So I do have a little collection of his cards going on, his Topps cards. As you can see, he started off with the Cleveland Indians. His best years were with the Minnesota Twins. I think he won the Cy Young Award in 1970. Then later in his career, he played for a few other teams, including the Tigers, I think, even for a season. So that's story number one, Jim Perry. He's still alive, and I believe he's down in North Carolina now. So, next story has to do with this 1977 Topps Carlton Fisk card. So when I was a little kid, I was a Red Sox fan, and I was living up in the Minneapolis area at the time. This was that same time frame that I was friends with Aaron Seeley. And I had a backyard neighbor named Brian. And he moved to a house a few blocks away, and it had these big trees. And Brian was a year or two older than me, and he could climb pretty high into those trees, especially the one where the story is about was in his front yard. And me being a little smaller, I wasn't able to get up there as high in the tree as Brian could. But being the encouraging friend that he was, and knowing that he had a card that I just loved, which was this very card, he climbed way up into the tree, put this card up there, and said, "If you can climb that high, you can have the card." Well, I tell you what, my fears went away. Talk about encouragement, positive motivation. I got up there next try, and I got that card. So that's the story behind that one. And then finally, this story is about one of the times I sang the national anthem at a Major League Baseball game. It was the Minnesota Twins against the Texas Rangers. And as the group I was in came out of the right field gate in the Metrodome in Minneapolis, we walked along the right field line right by the third base dugout where the Texas Rangers were. And in the dugout was a gentleman who was their pitching coach. I thought it was Tom Henke. I found out later it was Orel Hershiser. So put glasses on this Orel Hershiser. Kind of look the same, don't they? Could you get them mixed up? Well, I sure did. It wasn't until we got up to our seats after singing when I said to my dad, who was also in the group, I said, "Hey, did you see Tom Henke in the dugout down there?" And he's like, "No, I'm pretty sure that was Orel Hershiser." So even cooler. I remember as we were walking by the dugout, as I was looking into the dugout at the players, I specifically remember catching eyes with Orel Hershiser. And I remember he watched me walk for a little ways because I was aware he was watching me. But anyway, that's my third story about baseball cards. So Ticket Leprechaun, congratulations on the milestone. Thanks for having the contest. And we hope all the rest of you are having a great week so far. We'll talk to you again. Bye.